Hello folks, so in this video we're going to be talking about my solar and battery setup. It's a 2-panel setup. You've got the big one at the front, 250 watt, and the smaller one behind it, 100 watt. 2 independent kits running simultaneously. The cables from the solar, they run under the panels and feed into the roof through a cable gland which is sealed all the way around. So they lead through that gland, through the roof, and into the 2 controller boxes here. So this one here is the big panel. You just have all your information on that. Tells you how much charge in your battery, how much solar's coming in. Same with that one. The only difference between them is that is an external control box. And then the charge controller for that one, for the big panel, is in the garage, whereas that one's all built into one unit. So this one just goes straight into the battery from the small panel. So from there, where does it go from that? The big panel then comes down into the garage and goes into this charge controller here. That's where the solar comes in. And now I'll show you where we store the power. So under here, behind the fridge, tucked away, are 3 160 amp hour each AGM leisure batteries. They weren't cheap, but that's the storage for them. You know, everyone's power needs are different, but I've got a computer in here and fridge and all sorts. So then, I'll put links to both the panels in the description, or both the kits. My particular kit, so the big panel, the 250 watt, I think that's been changed to a 275 watt. I just had a look on their website. But it's the same thing, same size, so they've obviously upgraded the technology because I've had it for about 3 years now. But yeah, so the small panel, sell on eBay's Green Goods for You. Dimensions 120 centimeters long by 55 centimeters wide, so it's a smaller panel, 100 watt. That's all I could fit, to be honest. I had to slide the big one forward right up to the front of the van so I could fit that one in, because obviously I got the roof deck, so pretty limited for what I can have. But yeah, I mean, so far, like, it's cracking. It's an ideal little kit. So I've got the 2 separate kits running into the same battery. I rang up the company that sell the big one, Photonic Universe, so I'll link it anyway, and I was asking them what I'd need to connect another panel into the same system. It's possible. You have to buy like these little diode things and stuff that stop the voltage going back up into the panel or something, I don't know. For the amount of more power I wanted, I was gonna have to buy a new controller and all sorts, so it was easier just to get 2 separate units, and so far they've not tried to kill each other, so I think we're alright. And I've had them in like proper strong sun, obviously, during the summer as well. That's how I've done it, and it's working alright. The big panel, the 250 watt, that measures 165 centimeters by a meter. That's quite weighty, that one is. It's about 20 kilos on its own, the panel. But that's like, I think that's almost like a house panel, you know, like ones you get on the roofs in houses. But so them 2 combined, that's my solar, and then I also have a split charge relay as well. That was quite dear, so I bought one for my little van before, but obviously because this one has got to come from the front all the way to the back, and I've obviously got the big batteries, I had to buy like a real heavy duty kit. I mean, the cable, it's like a big old thick cable that goes all the way. I've ran it under the van, and I've put flexible conduit, which is like corrugated black. I'll put a picture on it anyway. I've put that all around the cable as well, and then secured it to the chassis under the van, just to, like, you know, just in case, so you won't want anything chipping up and clipping the sleeve on the cable and then that earthing itself onto the van, because that'd be a bad day. Obviously it's fused in the front and it's fused in the back, so 2 fuses, one on each side, to protect the controller itself. It's like a little unit in there, and it's a voltage sensitive one. That's what I bought, so it knows how much voltage is in each. If the voltage in the main battery gets too low, it cuts the relay and stops it sending charge to the back ones. And I think there's a way, I'm sure it said in the instructions, there's a way that you can connect something together on that so that the power from those batteries can start the van, you know, if your main battery's gone dead or something. So those two combined, the split charge and the solar, are perfect. I mean, in the summer, like, it's fine, like, that's plenty. But obviously now, because it's winter, I am starting to struggle a little bit, but that is only because I'm not really driving anywhere. So they're getting a jump for, like, it's been sunny today, so they've had a good bit of power. They're not full by any means, but damn sight more than yesterday. But because I'm not driving, they're not getting that extra kick that I'd get if I was, you know, going from place to place each day, because I'm just sort of hanging around this area. But if I was driving, that'd be fine. Like, that'd be, so on the roof there's what, 350 watts of solar going in, and the batteries are 480 amp hours combined. So, you know, I think ideal world, if you're going to do it, you want to try and match the watts of your solar to the batteries or more. Realistically, you know, the best way to do it would be to have the entire roof covered in solar, but then I don't get a roof deck, so that's not happening. The only other point to note on the solar, which I haven't done, which I should have done, is mine can't tilt. Now, again, in the summer you don't need it because the sun's high up, but in the winter obviously the sun's lower. So now what you want to do, on one side of your panel you want it hinged so that you can crack it up. I think it's 30 degrees is the ideal angle. Have it standing up like that, and then you'll get sun like all day, or the best chance you're going to get of sun. I didn't do that. I mean, to be honest, on that big panel, that'd take some pretty heavy engineering to make that so it can hinge. I mean, you'd need some real heavy duty hinges to stop it like being unsecure when you're driving. But yeah, I didn't do that, so I would recommend, if you're going to do a setup, find a way to make it tilt, because it would be a lot better, especially if you're travelling in winter. That's pretty much it. That's it. It's dead simple. Like, when I started doing the build, I knew absolutely nothing about solar, as I'm sure probably many of you don't. It's just a case of a bit of googling and a bit of reading up. I don't really know a lot about it now either. I just know that it works. And I always do this. I learn enough to get the job done, or so I know what to buy, and then that's it. Like, I don't go any further. As long as it works, I don't really care. If it starts having problems or something, then obviously I'm going to start researching again. But I can't really speak for the company that sell the 100 watt panel, because I mean, it works fine. Like, I plugged it in and it works. It's not had any problems yet. I've not had it that long. The other one, the one from Photonic Universe, so I've had that 3 years, I think, ish, around 3 years, I'm not sure. Never had any problems with it, and when I contacted them about fitting in a second panel, they were like really helpful. Back and forth from emails probably 5 or 6 times, which I didn't end up buying because it was dearer. Like, that is a dearer panel. So the big one, I think the kit cost me about 500 quid for the big one, whereas the 100 watt was like 120 quid or something like that. But they give you a guarantee with it, and the panel's it's meant to still be as efficient in 20 years time or something. So how true that is, I don't know, but you know, whatever. But yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it. Like, there's nothing more to it. It's not that complicated. It's scary when you first start it, but it's a bit daunting, like when you're first looking at them. But it's dead simple. It's literally just 2 wires going into your battery. Obviously, make sure you put them on the right way, because that'd be a bad day. But yeah, that's it. So there you go. Solar done.